My name is Velda Gonzalez. I was born and raised in the island of Puerto Rico. I'm a first generation undergraduate and graduate student in my family, and I joined majors as a tenure track position in 2020.
Hi, I am Michele Crespo-Fierro. I am of Puerto Rican descent, New York born and raised. My pronouns are she, her, and ella. And I am also first generation. I am an NYU alum, class of 1990, and I am now a clinical associate professor and teach mostly in the undergraduate program, and I'm also director of the lead honors program. And Dr. Gonzalez teaches with me in the honors program.
I just want to share a little bit of my experience in Puerto Rico. So I had great opportunities in Puerto Rico. I was part of the team who led the way in opening the Referral Center of Puerto Rico and the Caribbean. It happens that cardiovascular diseases along with diabetes and cancer are the main causes of disability and death among the Puerto Rican population. And just a short story, like I said, working in Puerto Rico, I was inspired by a lot of nurses who mentored me to be better, a better health professional, but also mentored me to grab opportunities. So I had an opportunity to be a heart transplant coordinator, and there I taught my patients how to take care of themselves, right? But I also learned from them how they balance their medical care with the cultural values and belief. They showed me the importance of social support, family support, spirituality. But a short story, I also learned from the first patient how sick he was prior to his heart transplant, how much fatigue he had, and how much he wanted to have his surgery. So he go back to salsa dancing. And very interesting, on the date of his discharge, there is this iconic picture in Puerto Rico that you can see of me dancing salsa with him. Because on the day of his discharge, we accompanied him to the lobby, and his son was waiting for him in the car, and he put this salsa music very loud, and Don Laureano invited me to dance. So we danced salsa, and we also celebrate his 20th anniversary, and we danced again, so that's pretty nice. But linking that to my work, most of my work has been on the symptom of fatigue, how we can improve outcome. But what I'm more excited right now is that I'm combining the biological underpinnings of symptoms with those cultural values and belief, and hopefully we have some ways to improve outcome within the Hispanic population.
So my research really is grounded in culture and how do we use or how do we work with the patients that we have, learn about their culture and figure out how to put them together when we come up with plans of care, particularly at home. So I was a home care nurse, and I also am an HIV nurse. So I did a lot of work in people's homes as they were going through major transitions in their life, and at that time they were dying. So I had first-hand knowledge of the culture that people brought into their care as they were preparing to die. When I moved on to do research myself, I really focused on what is it that in my population, particularly was Puerto Rican women living with HIV in New York City, what did they want from their nurse practitioners, from their physicians? How did they want to be cared for? So with what I've learned, I really incorporate that in everything that I do, every approach, whether it's teaching my students or whether it's consulting on other research studies that want to have a Latina representation, like what is it that they need to do to build trust, to have people feel welcome, not feel like they're checking a box, they're ticking off a list, getting the numbers, but actually are able to contribute to the care of people, which is a very important cultural aspect that people want to give back. they need to see nurses. They need to see nurses that look like them, that think like them, talk like them, are interested in the same, doing a little salsa on the side, understands the foods, the culture, the spirituality. So when they see that, they're like, oh, I can do that too. And they become inspired. So we definitely need more Latina nurses, but we also need them out in the community. We need them teaching in the classroom. We need them everywhere.
I want to add to your point that my research, since my postdoctoral fellowship has been funded by the National Institute of Nursing Research, and currently I have one student volunteer. She's from Mexico, I believe, and I think she working with me or listening to me, seeing me, somehow we are inspiring this new generation of nursing students, which is very diverse within NYU, to know that they can pursue higher education, they can become the next generation of nursing scientists, and we establish a mentor-mentee relationship. And I believe that in your course, within the nursing leaders group, we are doing that. I think we're putting a little bit of grain, and we saw some amazing students doing presentation of their work and believing in themselves, and they can do a lot of things.
Any specific health concerns you're focusing on tackling in the community for the future?
My preliminary findings of my work are suggesting that maybe I may be able, with a stool sample, to look at the gut microbiome and to predict which patient may develop worsening of symptoms. And I'm doing a similar work with the prostate cancer population in a project that is just really ongoing, to look how the importance of nutrition, modulating the mTOR pathway, and also to be able to predict outcomes, especially within the Hispanic cancer population.
I'm working in two areas. So one of them is in severe maternal morbidity. So most people know and talk about maternal mortality. Morbidity is, severe illness, whether it's preeclampsia or a mother going septic after the birth of her child. And we're really looking at what is it that is happening. And what we do know is that there are a lot of instances of discrimination and implicit bias towards communities of color. But with the Latina community, you have the added language barrier. So that's one thing that I'm working on. And then I'm also doing some work addressing, really looking at stigma and how stigma impacts people's ability to really process prevention messaging regarding HIV, and hopefully to look at ways that we can break that stigma.